Hi everyone, and welcome to my channel. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Sierra, and I'm a certified health and weight loss coach with a background in psychology. Today, I'm going to be sharing a list of the 10 best foods for weight loss. This video is actually a follow-up video to another recent video I did, where I focus on the theory behind what makes certain foods so good for weight loss. Whereas in this video, I'm going to be focusing on the more practical side by providing you guys with more specific examples of the best foods. I will provide a brief rationale for each food, but if you want an even deeper understanding and want to learn how to make more informed food choices of your own, definitely make sure to check out my previous video. So before we dive in, it's crucial to remember that while some foods may tend to be better for weight loss, no food inherently causes weight loss. The key to losing weight is being in a caloric deficit, or in other words, burning more calories than you consume. So as long as you're in a caloric deficit, you can essentially lose weight eating any food you want. However, there are definitely foods that tend to make sticking to a caloric deficit a lot easier, and those are the foods I'm going to be discussing in this video. So without further ado, here are the 10 best foods for weight loss. So the first food, which is more of a broad category and probably the most obvious, is vegetables. And specifically green vegetables like lettuce, cucumber, broccoli, zucchini, celery, etc. Most people know that vegetables are great for weight loss, and there are a few key reasons why this is. The first key reason is caloric density. Caloric density essentially refers to the number of calories in a given weight or volume of food. Most vegetables, especially green vegetables, have an extremely low caloric density, meaning you can eat a lot of them for very few calories. Hunger is probably the biggest reason people can't stick to a caloric deficit. So when you focus on foods that are low in caloric density, like vegetables, it allows you to feel a lot more satisfied with fewer calories, which just makes weight loss a lot easier. The second key reason is that vegetables are extremely rich in micronutrients. While vegetables being low in caloric density affects the energy inside of the equation by helping you consume fewer calories, vegetables being high in micronutrients affects the energy outside of the equation by helping you burn more calories. And this is simply because the quality of the foods we consume significantly impacts how our bodies function overall. Eating a healthier diet overall leads to improved sleep, energy levels, performance, and overall well-being, all of which contribute to a higher energy expenditure, which ultimately supports weight loss. The last main reason vegetables are so great for weight loss is their versatility. Vegetables can be used in so many different ways, and they can essentially be added to any meal to significantly increase the volume without adding extra calories. For example, by serving your favorite savory ingredients on a bed of lettuce, you can instantly make your favorite meals a lot more weight loss friendly. A lot of people either don't enjoy vegetables or stick to the same old boring salads. But once you start incorporating vegetables into the meals you already love and start using them in more creative ways, you'll find that sticking to a caloric deficit is much easier and more enjoyable. The next food is berries, and specifically strawberries. Berries are amazing for weight loss for the same reasons vegetables are. They are extremely low in calories while also being extremely high in micronutrients. Fruits in general are really high in micronutrients, but they can vary quite a bit in terms of caloric density. For example, bananas have roughly 90 calories for 100 grams, while strawberries only have around 30 calories for 100 grams, making them one of the lowest calorie fruits. The other main reason I love strawberries is, once again, their versatility, especially in sweet meals. Just like how adding lettuce to your favorite savory meals can make them a lot more weight loss friendly, strawberries can do the same thing for your favorite sweet meals, and they complement most sweet flavors really well. You can add strawberries to meals like oatmeal, yogurt, cereal, smoothies, or have them on the side of your favorite desserts. I personally recommend adding a source of fiber to every single meal you have when you're trying to lose weight. And if you love sweet meals like me, adding strawberries can allow you to enjoy those meals in a more balanced and weight loss friendly way. The next food on my list is squash, and more specifically pumpkin. Once again, squash is both extremely low in calories and really high in micronutrients. And just like lettuce and strawberries, is also really versatile. There are several different varieties of squash, like acorn squash, spaghetti squash, and they can all be used in really creative ways as lower calorie alternatives to common carbohydrate sources, like using spaghetti squash instead of pasta. But my favorite of all the squash is pumpkin. Pumpkin is extremely low in calories, with around 35 calories for 100 grams. And because it's usually sold canned, you don't need to spend a lot of time or energy preparing it. Like I said, I always make it a priority to add a source of fiber to every one of my meals. And pumpkin is a fiber source you can add to sweet or savory meals. I love adding pumpkin to oatmeal and smoothies, making sweet spreads for rice cakes, and it's amazing to bake with. It can replace butter and oil in a lot of recipes, which significantly lowers the calories and adds a natural sweetness. In my opinion, pumpkin is a must-have ingredient if your goal is weight loss, especially if you love sweet foods like me. The next food I want to mention is konjac noodles, also commonly referred to as shirataki noodles. Although konjac noodles aren't a whole, unprocessed food, they're made from a root vegetable and are extremely high in fiber, also making them extremely low in calories. And the main reason I love them so much is because of how well they work as a substitute. Most people and cultures love noodles and pasta dishes, but traditional pasta is very high in calories. For example, while a 100-gram portion of regular cooked pasta has roughly 150 calories, the same portion of konjac noodles usually has around 10 to 20 calories. That's around 10 times less calories for the same portion of noodles. Although they definitely don't taste exactly the same, the texture is still very similar. And because they're so bland, they basically just take on the flavor of whatever seasonings you add. There are also other konjac products like konjac rice, which I also really love. One of my favorite low-calorie hacks, which I kind of came up with, is adding konjac rice to oatmeal to create an incredibly high-volume oatmeal bowl. You do need to be a little careful with konjac noodles, since their high fiber content can upset your stomach if you eat too much. But if you're trying to lose weight, konjac noodles can really be a dream come true. The next food is another broad category, and that's lean meats and fish. And this is where I'm going to start shifting the emphasis away from caloric density and more towards macronutrients. All of the calories we consume come from 3 macronutrients, including protein, fats, and carbs. Animal products typically contain a mix of protein and fats, and lean simply means animal products that are lower in fat, meaning the majority of calories come from protein. Protein has a much lower caloric density than fat, with roughly 4 calories per gram versus 9 calories per gram, making lean meats much lower in calories compared to fattier meats. But there are many other reasons why high protein foods are so crucial for weight loss. The first is the effect on appetite and satiety. Protein is by far the most satiating macronutrient, which means that calorie for calorie, protein will keep you feeling full much longer compared to carbs or fats. The second reason is that protein is crucial for preserving muscle mass during weight loss, which is essential to prioritize if your goal is losing body fat rather than just body weight, which I think is what most of us want. The third is that protein has the highest thermic effect of food, meaning that your body burns more calories simply from digesting protein than it does digesting fats or carbs, leading to a higher energy expenditure. Lastly, protein plays several other critical roles in the body, which, once again, indirectly enhances weight loss through improved metabolic function and higher energy expenditure. Overall, if your goal is to lose weight as effectively as possible, you should definitely be prioritizing protein, ideally incorporating a solid source of protein in every meal you consume. And one of the best ways to do this is through lean meats and fish, such as lean beef, chicken breast, white fish, and seafood. The next food on the list is protein powder. While it's not a whole food, protein powder is still amazing for weight loss for all the same reasons we just discussed when it comes to the benefits of protein. Ideally, we get all of our protein from high quality, whole, unprocessed foods like lean meats and fish. But a lot of people just don't enjoy eating too many animal products for various reasons. Maybe you're really busy and just find it difficult to constantly be preparing meat, or you're vegan and struggle to get all of your protein from whole plant-based sources, since these typically come with a lot of carbs and fats as well. Or you're like me and just don't want to have meat at every single meal. As I've mentioned many times before, I really love sweet meals, but I also want all of my meals to have a solid source of protein. If I'm having something sweet, incorporating meat as a protein source doesn't really work, unless I want to have it on the side of my meal, which isn't very enjoyable for me. And that's where the benefits of protein powder come in. Protein powder is a convenient, versatile, and enjoyable way to add protein to our diets, especially when we don't want to rely on meats as our only protein source. Personally, I love using protein powder to make things like protein ice cream, adding protein powder to breakfast meals like oatmeal, cereal, yogurt, smoothie bowls, using it to make sweet spreads for rice cakes, baking with it, and just using it to turn my favorite desserts and sweet foods into healthier, weight loss friendly options. With so many different types and flavors to experiment with, protein powder can truly be a game changer in your weight loss diet. The next food on my list is Greek yogurt, specifically 0% plain Greek yogurt. Greek yogurt is amazing for weight loss because it's both low in calories and high in protein, which isn't the case for many other protein sources. For example, 100 grams of chicken breast has over 130 calories, while plain 0% Greek yogurt has less than 60 calories for 100 grams, which is less than half the calories. And again, it's another convenient and versatile protein source that can be used in sweet meals. I personally love using it to make frozen treats, high protein dips for fruit, spreads for rice cakes, adding it to smoothies, substituting it for butter in baking, or simply making a high volume yogurt bowl for breakfast. It can even be used in savory recipes as a substitute for sour cream when left unsweetened. On top of all that, Greek yogurt is packed with key nutrients such as calcium and probiotics, as well as slower digesting forms of protein like casein protein, which helps manage your appetite. I know that dairy can be pretty controversial, and not everyone tolerates it well, but if you can tolerate it, I think it can be an incredible addition to any weight loss diet. The next food is the last protein-focused food on my list, and that's egg whites. Like Greek yogurt, egg whites are a very low-calorie source of protein, with only around 50 calories per 100 grams. But unlike Greek yogurt, which still provides a small amount of natural carbohydrates from lactose, nearly all of the calories in egg whites comes from protein, making them one of the most concentrated protein sources you can find. And once again, egg whites are incredibly versatile. You can use them in savory recipes to replace whole eggs and cut down on the calories, or use them when you're baking sweet recipes. That being said, however, whole eggs can also be fantastic for weight loss. Even though they're higher in fat and calories, they're one of the healthiest fat sources you can include in your diet, as they're rich in essential fatty acids, good cholesterol, and many other key nutrients. So while whole eggs are higher in fat and more calorically dense, adding them to your diet can still be really beneficial for weight loss, which nicely leads me to the next food on my list. The next food on my list is another broad category, and that's any food high in healthy fats, including things like nuts, seeds, avocados, whole eggs, and fatty fish. Like I said, even though these foods are more calorically dense, they still provide essential fatty acids that are crucial for looking, feeling, and performing your best, which once again indirectly supports weight loss by helping you burn more calories. Adding a little bit of healthy fat to your meals also helps slow down digestion, keeping you feeling full for longer, and just makes your meals so much more enjoyable overall. If I had to pick my favorite healthy fat source, I would have to say avocados. They can be used in a wide range of ways and are also packed with fiber, making them less calorically dense than more concentrated fat sources such as oil. Although some oils, like olive oil, have health benefits, I still advise against relying on oil since it's very easy to overdo. In general, it's best to get your fat from whole foods such as eggs and avocados if your goal is weight loss. The last main food on my list is carbohydrates, specifically complex carbohydrates. Even though carbs aren't particularly low in calories, they're still our body's primary fuel source and are essential for maintaining a high energy expenditure. And when it comes to weight loss, the best carbs are complex carbs. They're higher in fiber and take longer to digest than simple carbs, helping you maintain steady energy levels and stay full longer. While many people think of grains when they hear carbs, I believe the best carbs come from fruits and vegetables, including sweet fruits like bananas and root vegetables like potatoes. These sources are typically higher in essential nutrients compared to most grains, and they tend to be a lot more filling. Potatoes, in particular, have been shown to be one of the most satiating foods you can consume. Whole grains that absorb a lot of water while cooking, such as oatmeal, can also be a great option for enhancing fullness and satiety. Overall, while both carbs and fats are higher in calories, they're essential for maintaining high energy levels and overall well-being, which is crucial for successful and sustainable weight loss. Now, I also included a little bonus food because it's not really a food, but I wanted to mention it because I think it can completely transform your diet and weight loss efforts. And that's low-calorie seasonings, flavorings, and condiments. As I've said many times in previous videos, the key to a sustainable weight loss diet is one that you enjoy. And low-calorie seasonings, flavorings, and condiments can make all the difference when it comes to that. This can include condiments like salsa, mustard, no-sugar barbecue sauce, fat-free salad dressings, and the list goes on, as well as sugar-free alternatives like stevia, sugar-free syrups, pudding mixes, jello mixes, sugar-free gum, and diet sodas. All of these ingredients allow you to enjoy the flavors you love without adding extra calories. Even though they might not taste the exact same as their higher calorie alternatives, your taste buds will likely adapt over time. And before you know it, you might even start preferring them, or at least not be able to tell the difference. And while some people may debate the healthiness of some of these alternatives, the fact is, if they help you avoid over-consuming calories and make your diet a lot more enjoyable, I would argue they're 100% worth it. If the choice is between relying on sugar and struggling with your weight, or relying on sugar-free alternatives but being able to maintain your dream weight, I personally choose the latter any day. And that wraps up my list of the 10 best foods for weight loss. That being said, there are 2 additional takeaways I want you to keep in mind. First off, while the foods on this list tend to work well for most people, the best foods for each person will vary significantly based on individual preferences. Everyone's body responds differently to specific foods, and what works really well for one person may not work at all for another. So it's crucial to pay attention to how specific foods make you feel personally, and choose the foods that make you feel your best. And if you don't even enjoy the taste of a food, it's unlikely to work for you long term, no matter how many potential health and weight loss benefits it has. That being said, however, once again, it's also important to remember that taste buds can change over time. If you've been used to unhealthy foods for a while, healthier foods might not appeal to you at first, but if you just stick with them, they'll likely start tasting a lot better over time. The second key takeaway is that the overall balance of your diet is by far what matters most for weight loss. As I discussed in my previous video, instead of focusing too much on individual foods, it's crucial to look at your diet as a whole, since overall calorie intake is ultimately what drives weight loss. And this doesn't just mean you can incorporate higher calorie foods into your diet, but that you should incorporate them. Relying too much on extremely low calorie foods can easily lead to digestive issues and low energy levels, which is why it's so crucial to include enough carbs and fats in your diet. And this balance isn't just about macronutrients, but also the enjoyment of your diet. The key is realizing that you don't need to cut out your favorite foods to lose weight. Any food can fit into your diet with the right balance. And this is exactly what will allow you to maintain your weight loss long term. As always, if you're interested in one-on-one coaching or simply have any questions for me, please don't hesitate to check out my website, shoot me an email, or reach out to me on Instagram. And with that out of the way, I'd like to thank you all so much for watching. Please give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel so you never miss any of my future videos. See you guys soon.
See you guys soon. See you guys soon. See you guys soon.